everyone, and today we're going to make our own pie, apple pie to be exact. And today we're going to be starting off with some pie crust. So the first step you're going to need is half a cup and 2/3 of a cup of regular multi-purpose flour, and then you'll have also a half cup of almond flour. And we're just going to put this in the bowl. In a large bowl. You can also use a food processor if you don't want to mix things by hand, but we prefer to do it by hand so that it's easier. And it just
and here, if you can see, we are gonna put the butter here.
Yes, so we have 1 whole stick of butter, or half a cup of butter, and we're just going to pour it right in here.
It's not coming out.
Yeah, okay, now it is. That is fun. So make sure also your butter is in cubes. And now we're going to do something very hard, actually. It's not that hard, but we're going to start off by separating all of our cubes of butter, like this. And then we're going to put in the flour, and we're going to try mixing it in by doing pinching. By
hand. And it's very hard.
The flour and the butter together.
It's very hard when you pinch it in together. It's feels you're bored. So you gotta do it quickly or the butter is gonna melt.
Yes, actually that's partly true. The colder your butter is, the better it is. Just make sure it's easy enough for you to work with. And just keep doing the pinching until your dough actually is crumbly, okay? So this is how it should look like after you've thoroughly crumbled the mixture. And now we're going to add a little bit of some ice cold water. And this is going to be 3 tablespoons. I'm just going to put it right in here. And we're gonna mix. We're also going to add in some salt, which is about going to be 1 teaspoon, or half a teaspoon actually, of salt, because you don't want your pie crust to be too salty. And also, when you were crumbling in the beginning, also try to do it as fast as you can so that the butter fat doesn't melt, and it will still taste really nice. And now we're going to add just 1 small tablespoon of sugar, and this step is because you just also want your crust to be just a little...
It's a little bit golden brown
in the oven. A little bit of flour on my surface here. It's gonna sprinkle just a little bit, like this. And I'm going to add my dough in here, and along with all of its other little doughy components right in here. And you will also want to work quickly with the dough so that again the butters don't melt. And work on it until its texture is actually considered quite smooth. So that we can easily put it inside the refrigerator. And this dough typically needs to rest for at least 30 minutes in the fridge until you can start really building your pie. So here is our beautiful cut pie crust. And we are just going to close in on it, just like so. And I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes. And then while it's sitting, we're going to start working on our apple filling. So the first thing you're going to want to do for this apple filling is you're going to peel off the apple skin, just like so. You can use a peeler of any sort, even like a potato peeler. And so forth, if I can even get the hang of this. And after I'm done peeling these apples, I'm going to show you how we're going to just finished peeling all the apples. As you can see, they are fresh out of their skin, and they're also washed, so they're perfect to start. What we're going to do is we're going to first cut off the bottom, as well as cut off the top. Whoa, I don't know if this is the correct knife to use. Super confused. Okay, it's good. Just take it out. Okay, anywho, what we're gonna do is we're going to just cut down slices. And then with the slices, we're going to cut them like lengthwise. Then we're going to cut them into cubes. The smaller the cubes, the easier it is to chew, but also you'd like also some of that appleness and crunchy texturishness. So this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to just show you this, how we're gonna do it real fast. Might take some of these seeds out. I'm going to take some of these seeds out, actually. And I'm just gonna keep on cutting. Okay, so now that we have all of our free apples inside this bowl, we're going to start by adding a half cup of sugar, brown sugar, so that it actually, the apples become caramelized, and that they are nice and sweet and have this caramel type of flavor. If you don't want that, which is okay as well, you can add just regular white sugar or whatever sugar you do have lying around. Now we're going to add a 1/4 cup of, how do you pronounce this again? Okay, cornstarch, sorry about that. And we're just gonna add it into the bowl. Cornstarch likes to stick on bowls, so don't be afraid to give it a pat and move it with your hands, because the reason we're adding cornstarch, you can add cornstarch or flour. The reason we're adding it is so that the bottom, the apples are going to get a bit soggy, but we don't want that to happen as much. So this is why we're adding cornstarch or flour, so that the bottom of a pie doesn't get moist and that the apples sustain a nice flavor as well. Now we will have some half teaspoon of cinnamon as well as half a teaspoon of salt. Okay, and we're just going to add it right in here. Right, just like that. So the reason we're adding cinnamon is because the apple just is amazing with cinnamon taste. This is optional. You don't have to do it, but it's pretty it's better if you do it because it just will make the whole pie taste better. And salt is just to balance out the sweetness. And what you're gonna do is you're going to just try mixing everything together. As you can see, the apples already are getting a bit nice and mushy, and that's good, but we don't want it to be too mushy. And we're just going to keep on mixing until all the flavors have combined nicely. And the last step is to just squeeze in like about a 4th of a lemon, or a lime, sorry, or you can just have exactly 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I tend to just add as much as I want. You don't have quite a limitation, but add as much as you can sustain. And we're just going to keep squeezing until all of this delicious juice comes out, because I absolutely love limes. They taste so well in baked goods. And after we are squeezing this out perfectly, we're going to put all of these beautiful cups together, and we're going to keep on mixing. And you want to, whoops, ooh, apples on the loose. Okay, we got that situation taken care of. And just mix up all of the delicious different flavors until they're nicely combined. Okay, and I'll show you how they look like in a bit. So this is how they look like, and right now what we're gonna do is like we did before with the dough. We're going to take some plastic wrap. Of course, get our spoon out of there. We're gonna take some plastic wrap, and we're going to wrap the top of this bowl with it. Whoops, okay, that's fine. Okay. And then I'm going to just tear off this piece so that I can actually fully attach it. And we're also going to let this rest for about 30 minutes as well, just so that the apples can absorb all this delicious flavor, and that they will also be ready and hardened enough so that we can put them in a pie. So see you back after a bit so that we can assemble the pie and put it in the oven. Okay, so now that we are done, we are going to take out our beautiful dough, and we're going to roll them, and then we're going to add these thin sheets in the cupcake tins, where we're going to then keep assembling them until they look somewhat like this. And then, of course, moving out the edges and everything until they're good to go. Then add the apple filling and add another piece of your dough, as well as wash over them with some egg wash, which consists of just 1 egg whisked together a little bit until it's liquid-like. And just keep doing all of these steps for all of your mini apple pies.
And after those apple pies be goldenish brown in the oven, you could get them out and then eat them.
Yes, and also bake these beauties at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, 200 degrees Celsius for about 35 to 45 minutes. Or depending on how much it takes for them to be golden brown. And look at these delicious little apple pies. Don't they look so good?
Yeah, and those are sweeties. And I hope you enjoy this video, and bye! Thumbs up!